It's a very, very warm welcome to Hope Channel Kenya. This is your show, The Storyline. My name is Catherine Yamaino on Tita, and I'm always very excited to know that you're watching. I can tell you that God is good. Sometimes when you go through challenges, you may not realize it, but it is true that God does not change. Now, Hope Channel Kenya has been reaching many people that have attested to the fact that some of our programs have really, really touched them. And today we are very excited to have one of those. She wrote to us and said, I would like to come and share my testimony. And I want to welcome you, my sister Winnie Otieno. Winnie, you're very, very welcome to Hope Channel Kenya.
Thank you so much.
When did you start watching Hope Channel Kenya?
I started watching Hope Channel Kenya way back in 2017, thereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
Then around 2018 January, I couldn't watch because of the kind of TV I had.
Mm-hmm.
And then now once through God's help, I got a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Now I could go free to air. Then I got Hope Channel. So I've been watching it since then.
So it's one of your favorite channels?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because I noticed when I switch it on, my baby even crams even the program lineup.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yes.
And your baby is so small, you told me.
Yes, he is so small, but he has some memory that amazes.
Amen. We
Yes.
thank God for you.
Yes.
Yeah, so you wrote to us and said that you're a widow.
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, according to what I know, I am. It's been 9 years to date. Yeah, being in that condition. But then I thank God for it, because through that I've seen other many things that I wouldn't have seen were it not for that situation. Yes.
Yeah, so we'll come to that, but just let me try to understand a little bit about where you come from and what life was like when you were growing up as a child.
Yeah, so I'm born. My original home is in Kakilomix. That is in Homa Bay County. But then I was born and raised in Nyakach, Kisumu County, Sondu. We grew up finding ourselves in that town. So that's where we grew up until the time now. Maybe we were getting out of the town to be now where we are now. We are 4. I have other 3 siblings. I'm the only girl.
Wow.
Yes.
The flower.
I'm the only girl. I have 2 elder bros and 1 little one.
So you're somewhere in the middle.
I'm in the middle.
What do your parents do?
My parents, unfortunately, they are not around.
Okay.
Yeah. They passed on. My dad passed on in 2006.
Oh, you were very young then.
Yeah, and my mother passed on in 2002. But something is very sad with the fact that I never got to grow next to my mom. I first saw her in 2002. I grew up in the hands of a very cruel stepmother. Yes, and I'm sorry she's late. So around 2002, my auntie, sister to my dad, came home. And she was like, where are those 2 kids? Because it was me and this elder brother that I'm following, because there's the eldest. Then that one, then me, and then the last one. So the 2 of us were my fathers. You understand? Yeah, because the elder brother was
born from elsewhere.
Yes.
Okay.
But then from the stories, my dad never welcomed him. So most of the time he stayed with my maternal grandmother. So auntie came and she was like, where are you? Your mother has come. And we are like, oh, which mother? But then we grew up. I noticed that the stepmom then, one day we tried calling her mom and she was like, no, don't call me stepmom. Call me auntie. Then my dad was very harsh. You couldn't face him, like, why are we calling mommy auntie and not mommy? So we couldn't even ask.
So your mom must have left when you were very young then?
I was 7 months. I was shown the pictures. I was very malnourished. I could not walk. I was yellow. You've known that kind of a baby.
Yeah.
I saw myself inside a stool. The way you used to put stools upside down, then you are dipped inside to hold.
And you
I
could
saw
fit
myself.
in that stool. You were so
I
tiny.
was so tiny. With a very big head. I think it was malnourished, and then maybe I didn't breastfeed well. Yes. So when we were taken to where my auntie used to sell groceries, still in Sondu, then I'm getting a very beautiful woman. She was wearing sunglasses, and she looks at me and she's like, "Do you know me?" Then I'm like, "No, I don't know you." She asks my brother, "Wiki, do you know me?" "No, we don't know you." "Or do I pull my glasses?" She pulls them, and still I don't recognize her. And then she's like, "I'm your mother." We were shocked, because whatever we've been going through, you couldn't imagine going through all that, and then your mother is around.
So how did you feel when you saw her? Were you excited? Or?
I was so sad that I forgot that excitement part. Following how we've been growing, because the stepmother was so harsh, so cruel. You just make a mistake and she picks anything and hits you. Sometimes you make a little mistake, you want to be corrected by mouth, you are hit. It is not the usual caning. Maybe you are seated, she comes, pulls your ears against the wall, things like those. Dakika kidogo, you only see blood, you are carrying it in your hand, you are running somewhere to wash it. She doesn't care. So there were two of them, stepmothers. Both of them were the same.
So did you live in one house and move to the other?
Both of them were the same. Both of them were the same. And it is so sad that our dad never gave us time to... He was not very free, so that at least you can go and tell him like, "Dad, you see auntie's doing ABCD, what do we do?" Like, you find time with your kids. Like, you know very well this is not their mother. They could be going through hell. But now our dad locked us. We couldn't face him. You see, he was that type that we are in a house, you cough, he's like, "What's wrong with you?" So we are in a house and we are quite like, as if we are not around, no one is in the house.
So your childhood really was quite a tough one.
Was so tough. So then when I saw my mom in 2002 when she appeared, it was around March. Is it March? Because I remember after some 2 weeks we were in some holiday, perhaps April or something. Now when we saw her, then she went back home. Her home is just Nyabundo. Nyabundo Plateau is near Sondu. Nyabundo Plateau is near Sondu. So my dad was a businessman in Sondu town, known. So when she went home, then one day we were from school, we find her seated. She was sickling now. So she was seated on the floor with her legs stretched across the table.
In Sondu now?
In Sondu now, inside the house of this other stepmother. We are from school and we are meeting her like that. Then we are like, "Oh, so you came." So we are trying to familiarize, like, "Now this is my mother." I sit somewhere and look at her seriously. I'm like, "So how can she be my mother?" I'm not getting to terms with that. Then I see my dad comes, just passes her, seated there, goes and does his things. She's just there. She was already sick. Then she stayed for some time. I don't know if the co-wife never loved her. I don't know what was happening. Then suddenly again she went back to her mother's place. Then after 2 weeks, we are being called from school. "Oh, come, the head teacher is calling you. You are called home immediately." Then we're like, "Kwani, what's wrong?" So when we went home, now we are being told that your mother has died. So I saw my mother only 3 times in life. The first time she appeared in 2002, that April or May something. The second time she came home, she stayed with us for like 1 week, and I remember she was so sick. Every time she eats, she calls me to take her out to vomit. You see, she was sick. And the last time she was in a coffin. Only those 3 times I saw her. Yes.
Wow. But God is good.
Yes, God is good. We grew up.
You grew up?
We grew up and we were strong. Yeah, you see, these orphaned kids, there's a way that God puts them. There's something if you do to a very noble child now, they would even die. You hear of cases teachers are disciplining kids and they die. What we went through, if we were these kids now, we would have died those times. You can't tell me a parent is going to hold your ears and hit your head against the wall in the name of disciplining you. You can't tell me that. So we went through that kind of thing. When I got to, she died. Then in 2006, we were in class 7. We were supposed to go to class 8. Then my dad passed on. He was sickly also. Then he died. So when he died, this is the beginning. Yeah, in as much as he wasn't giving us time, he wasn't doing that. But you see, his presence was giving this our mothers some fear that, oh no, he's around. He'll notice me doing ABCD. It was that if you were beaten and he finds you with a wound, you would say, I fell down. You would not say, Mami, ndiye alinipiga or things like that. Because when he leaves, you're going to pay for it. So we were ever, what happened? I fell down, ABCD. I can't plait my hair because of those things. Because I have scars all over my head. Yeah. So when he passed on, now we saw darkness. Now we saw darkness, the two of us. Because, yes, the mothers were there. But now during the burial, I remember. During the burial ceremony, I remember my uncles. They are two now. So one of them stood up and said, now since my brother is being buried, the kids are remaining, we are going to support them. And any child who lives here to go to their maternal grandmother's place, we are going to call them off, like we are going to cut their place from this family. You wonder why he was talking that way, as if he had known that something was going to be wrong. Then it's okay, we said fine. It's okay. Of course, if you provide, why would a child run away? Yeah. So when we went back to Sondu with our stepmother after the burial, we saw things happening. Then I never saw any uncle knocking at door like, how are my brother's kids doing? Have they eaten? What do they need? Which support do you need? We never saw that.
Nobody came.
So when we were with the stepmother, the other one was at home. But the one who brought us up was here in Sondu. So my brother, because the beating was too much now, so he could not withstand. So he decided to go to Shosho's place. But remember, we were told at the burial, whoever goes there,
that's it.
So when he went, it was like he had already gotten his certificate. I remained here because I was so afraid of her, of the mother. I could not run. Even if I knew she was killing me the next minute, I would just sit there. I wait to be beaten. I still wake up. So during those times, one evening, I was already in class 8. I was the only one with her. My brother had fled. The younger one also tried living here and he was beaten one day. He never came back. Yeah, because when mom came, she came back with the younger one.
Yeah.
So then my dad welcomed the younger one. We tried staying and then one day, I don't know what happened. He was hit badly. He was bleeding all over. He ran back home. Shosho's place it's a walking distance.
Okay.
Yeah, you can climb actually. There's that hill. Some hilly place, so you can actually climb and get to Shosho's place. He went back, so I was here alone. One day I saw someone knocking at the door, a very young guy. Then I'm like, who are you? I'm not mentioning his name because yeah. Then I'm so and so, who do you need? I need to see your auntie. So I'm like, oh, so he even knows this is an auntie. Okay, come in. That was around 3 or 4 months after the burial
of your dad.
Dad was buried in 2006. I did my KCP in 2007. So after my KCP, yeah, around 1 year later, yes, then I'm like, just come in. He walked from the door to the bedroom without fear. Then I'm like, and my auntie was there also. So I'm like, what kind of a visitor is this? I'm also not having that power to start asking auntie, who is that? Why is he getting straight that way to the bedroom? I kept quiet. So because I was mature enough then, so I said, oh, okay, if this is how things are going to be, fine. The worst came when he started controlling me. I'm not saying I was not supposed to respect him. First, he was young. If I looked at him, he was a young man compared to the age of auntie, because I knew her. Yeah, even if it was moving on, getting solace, I was expecting, you see, someone a bit mature. Now when this guy came, it was bar home. Bar home. My dad invested. He had some businesses. He had a plot. So she was accessing some of these things. Yeah. So I saw always they were in bar. So sometimes they come back.
So
when I got to
stepmom used to drink too.
Yes, she used to drink. So when I got to Form 1, during this December holiday, before I even go to these guys, an uncle, he came home and was like, oh, you've done Form 4. Now we are going home. We are going to arrange how you can go to Form 1. Then I'm like, it's fine. Then he pulls me from Sondu, we go to Ringa, Kakelo Mix home. So I don't know what I was doing. My granny's house is a beautiful one. Yeah. So it has so many rooms. So I was in one of the stores. Not like I was to peep to hear what they were saying. No, I just found myself there. Could be I was cleaning the house or something. It was the morning hours.
That's your maternal uncle? Or
My paternal uncle.
Paternal uncle.
At home,
Okay.
Ringa. Then I hear Granny, they were now discussing, I think, about me going to school. Then I hear Granny says, my son, you know you've not given birth. So don't put this kind of stress on your head. Yeah, you don't have any child that is making noise over your head. So don't just stress yourself. These kids should just go to school. So in a way that, let me not become headache for uncle. Yeah, he has no kid that should be bothering him. He hasn't reached that stage. Yeah, according to my understanding, that is what the conversation meant. I didn't ask. I left quietly. No one knew I was there. I went out and I said, God, I'll just sit down to see what is going to happen next. Uncle came back to Nairobi, left me with Granny. So I sat there, time is going. We're already in January, I'm not seeing anything. Then I called Auntie Sondu. I told her, kindly send me fare. Let me come back because now I'm just at home. We are going to Shamba, we are doing this. I'm not seeing anything like school. Time is going. I went back to Sondu. She sent me transport. I went back to Sondu. And you see now, I was like her worker also. So she also had someone to do things for her. So when I was leaving, she was not happy. When she heard I could be going back, she was so happy. She sent me transport. So I'm there, I'm asking God, does it mean now my education is ending this way? Then Auntie, she's called Auntie Karen. Yeah, may God bless her. This Auntie Karen came. Those aunties from Mama's place, they looked alike for us because, we were blocked. We could not even go there. So we didn't know some of these aunties. And I'm telling you that I met some cousins here in Nairobi as late as 2014, 2013.
You'd never met them?
I'd never met some of them. There are some that we've never even shaked hands. Maybe I'm shown in pictures. This is cousin so-and-so. I don't know some of them. And I'm sure them, they also don't know us, so don't know me mostly. Yeah. So these aunties looked alike. So when she came, I'm like, no, which auntie is this? So I'm asking her, which auntie are you? She looked at me and told me, hey, you're not serious. You don't know us. Then she told me, okay, we will be going to Kericho with you. She used to stay in Kericho, so that we arrange now you can go to school. Then I say, wow, God. So auntie followed me to this place to know that I can be going to school when I have people around, 2 very able uncles. It's fine. We went to Kericho. She arranged. In fact, they wanted to take me to a boarding school. I didn't pass so well, but then it was above average. It was 267 marks.
That was a good mark.
Yeah, 267 marks. So I had been called to the St. Philomena, Sigoti Girls. And then the other one was calling me to the local schools, Hagai Mixed, here, there in Sondu. Sigoti is also around Nyabondo area. I really wanted a boarding school because this beating, and have you seen that state that kids are going back home in the evening? You wish time could go back to even 2 p.m. You can't imagine going back home. So I was imagining going through high school in that state, but then it's okay. When we went to Kericho, auntie arranged, they were ready to pay school fee. In fact, auntie paid my school fee. So when we came here, auntie suggested that we have 2 options. She has a letter for Sigoti Girls, she has another for a guy. Those are the best schools so far. The local and the around. Now auntie started issues that, oh no, she should not be going to boarding school, you know, boarding school has issues, oh watoto wataribika. Then so I think my auntie sensed something. She didn't want to bring commotion. She was respecting her for the fact that now she was our mother then. So then she decided, okay, if that's it, then let us put Winnie here in Hagai, because Hagai is also a very good school. It's performing. Then I ended up in the day school.
Again, operating from home.
From auntie's place. Remember there's that guy I told you about? He's been here. So I'm going through to Form 1. You have assignments, so I used to leave school. I come home. I do everything. In the morning before you go to school, you make sure you've washed utensils. In the evening you come back. There's that Sondu Miriu, you've heard of it?
Yes, I know.
I come from school. A guy is also those sides of that Sondu Miriu. And you know you are in high school. You leave school around 5:30 or something. For you to get home, it's around 6. You'll come to this water around 4 trips. You'll get from this Miriu around 7 latest. You start washing utensils. You start looking for supper to cook. You wash those utensils because in the morning when she wakes up, she only wants to find clean things, ready water. To cook tea, then wait for those vyombo wait for you. I did. Even in primary, I remember sometimes when I used to come back from school, you find this. No, you are told hakuna pesa. Yeah, kwani baba yako, she used to call my dad Jaring. Jaringa never left money. Don't disturb me. She was a saloonist, so sometimes you go ask her. She talks like that next to the other women with whom they work in her salon. But then you go back to the kitchen, you find fried liver, you get, this cooked ugali.
She allow you to eat that?
You go home at lunchtime. This was when I was in primary. You are told there's no money. So either you go buy uji for 10 bob, you drink, you go back to school, or there's no food at all. When you go to, because when we came from lunch, she wanted us to go for water. You see, salon needs too much water because of washing of the hair and all that. So she wanted water all through. So we could come from school, we go to fetch water, even two trips or 3. Miriu is not near. Then you come back, there's no food. So I ended up, sometimes I used to drink that Miriu water. I never suffered cholera and all those. I get from that river when I'm very full. You go back to school in the afternoon, people are already doing tests. You don't have 30 bob to attend that test. You are made to stand at the door. So the rest are doing tests. You only remember the water I've drank from that river, and then no food in my stomach. Again, I can't do exams. It was so traumatizing. It was so hard. That time in class 8, you're waiting for exams. But through all that, we still made it. So in Form 1, what annoyed me most is that now all that, you get so tired, you settle for homework at around 10:30. You are tired. You are tired. Then at this time you want to do homework, this room is busy. You actually can't concentrate. You're going to switch off your books and go to bed. That was so bad. That was, and imagine any woman who is watching, who is listening. If you have to do this kind of things and you have kids who are grown, do it outside and come back home. Give kids easy time. I could not study, so I go to bed. So one day I got so mad, because now I was used to washing clothes. Definitely, you are a lady, you are a girl, you have to do house chores. I was used to them. I was never complaining, in as much as she was really treating me that way. Because I remember there's a day her daughter came. She had a daughter who was not living with us. I remember my dad asking her, "So you bring your daughter Otieno na kina Winnie?" And she's like, "My daughter can't study in this a guy. Let my daughter live."
She had children that studied.
She had one daughter.
Okay, but she had to subject you to this school.
Yeah.
Well, we'll come back after the break now. You see, we came here to talk about widowhood, but let's start with orphanhood. Winnie is an orphan, and she's gone through so much. The beauty about Winnie is that she has lived to tell her story. And although it's been a hard, harsh past, I can tell you she's very positive. And you can see she's looking very beautiful. And guess what she does for a living? She's a rider. That will come in another program called The Zeal. But for now, we want to take a break. Can you have your cup of water? And please don't go away. Welcome back to Storyline. My name is Catherine, and our special guest today is Winnie Otieno. Winnie is a widow, but today we are talking about her orphanhood, which perhaps contributed to her getting married early. Winnie, before we took a break, you were describing some of these very horrific experiences that you had with your stepmom.
Yes.
And you lost your mom as well, and a mother you only met 3 times in your life.
Yes.
So did you complete your high school?
I did. Auntie took me to school. Then at around 2009, I could not withstand, because I noticed that now my stepdad was becoming too controlling. Yeah, he would create stories, and I'm beaten up for some small issues. Then I decided to go to follow my brother. So I knew I was also getting a certificate, considering what uncle said. I decided, let me go. So I went. In 2009, I was in Form 2.
You moved back to your maternal
I went to maternal grandmother's place. She welcomed us. She was so happy, because she was seeing me and seeing her daughter. I'm the only girl. Yeah. So I went through to school. But you see, now in high school, we have needs. Yeah. But then we used to trek. Maana ni mlima. You leave in the morning kwa shosho to a guy, that hill, then in the evening. So probably you are a tired student. Kukuja is easier because ni mteremko, but now going back home ni kupanda mlima. Sometimes you are being rained on in the morning, you fell down in those stones, they hit you, get to class, you are wet, and you are going to do chemistry paper 1 theory. You're already wet, yeah? But then you still do. So I could not bother auntie with so many issues, like, oh, auntie, I need pads, auntie, I need oil. Because she was already paying fee. Shosho was already feeding us. We are all at Shosho's place. And Shosho's not working. She was just selling bananas in Sondu town, her own plantain. So I went to school. Now, through this time, sometimes there are set books I can't watch. And then now, I'm frustrated. I can't perform. Yes, I perform, but sometimes you're in C minor, C plain ones, D plus. I don't know what those things are. But so when I've not performed well, you see, you're even afraid to ask for help, because you'll be asked, what was your grade? What are you going to say? So I kept quiet with most of these problems. Yeah, because I could not face auntie, you see. So time went. So when I got to 2010 in Form 3, when now I had overgrown my skirt because it was the same skirt from Form 1. So I had overgrown it. The t-shirt was faded. Now school is giving me pressure. Oh, well, my finger skirt. They're forgetting that this is the same skirt I got to Form 1 with. So then this boy came. By then I didn't play with these boyfriends in primary. I didn't even play with them in Form 1 and 2. I'm not saying I played with them even in Form 3. That boy came, and then I was a class representative then. So definitely everyone will know a class representative. And so when he came, we just became normal friends. So one day he noticed that people were going to watch Set Book, The River Between Ukifo Kisimani. I didn't have money, so I was stranded at the door. I could tell anyone. Then he was like, kwani wewe ingi? Then I'm like, no, I don't have. I'll get in. He gets in, comes out again. You're not getting in. The door is almost closed. Then now I told him I didn't have the money. You would have said. Then he just pulled it and paid. He was also a new student from Onjiko Boys to a guy in Form 3. He was very bright because we noticed that at some point we were both doing history before I dropped that subject. He would miss school for 1 week and comes back, we do test, he pass. And I'm like, where? Okay. But then as time went, we grew fond of each other. And then one day now he was telling me, hey, you are so frustrated in life. I had never told anyone my life story during that time. Then I found myself just very open with him because he was telling me, you are a very harsh class representative. I was very harsh because I grew up knowing that this is life. Yeah, so I also treated people, you see, utaki ujinga, yeah, you are that person. And it affects me to date because, there are things I don't want to tolerate. So he told me, okay, now this is why you are growing up this way. Anyway, I will be helping you where I can. Where I can't, I will not. So, of course, he was there. He tells me, he brings me even his shoes because we could wear same size. Chukua hizi zangu za Onjiko Aki, they're still new, they're better. My mom bought me a new set for this school, so take his shoes. And then he also had a cousin who went to another school around Katito area. Their school uniform by then, it was a grey skirt. So you can't tell me ati hii ilikuwa ya ile shule, take that one wear. So you see, he was so helping. Then we went through school. When I got to Form 4, issues started. One day when I went home, Nyabondo now. Okay, usually cousins used to come, but you see, with life, things change. Yeah, there's a point when if you don't add value, you just get boring to the society. Yeah, so some cousins used to come, and when they come, you see some changes. Yeah, some changes. So unasikia tu wetu unashtakiwa, huyu ananisumbua hata sijui nini, and you ask yourself, anyway, I understand. So this day I came back from school. I had a room. My uncle built a big house before he could move to his home. So some of these rooms we were given, like Winnie kaa kwa hii room ya ndugu yako mkubwa because he had already gone to Homa Bay to study. So that room remained vacant. Then my brother's like, we kaa uchunge room yangu. Then now I'm supposed to be there, and the other brother is sleeping with my younger brother in the other room. And then my younger uncle's wife was in this other room. So the house was okay for us. So I had my own room, I locked it. Now one day when I came from school, I find my room so messed up. My cousins came. I'll not mention their names. So then I'm like, what's wrong with my room? Things are scattered all over. Then someone is telling me, Ati, your cousin said that you stole her scarf. This scarf. Then I'm like, no, it was not me. And even if it was me, could someone wait for me to just come back and explain or even check? Why would someone do this? So out of the other things that have been happening, definitely there were. I didn't want so many issues. I was bored. Then I think I also didn't get enough. You see that someone that puts you down, like, no, don't worry, these things happen. You get this just to make you just keep on keeping on in as much as it's tough. I have never gotten that thing in my life, even now that we speak. I sit down, make my decisions, make mistake, regret over them, wake up again, remove the dirt, go. Yani I fight alone. It was the same. So I got bored, carried my clothes, my uniform, and my primary certificate because I felt that maybe I'm getting this treatment because of some reason. So I left home. I went to Sondu. When I was going to Sondu, I called this boy. He is Brian. I called Brian. I told Brian, I'm in Sondu. Something happened at home. I got bored and I left. And the way I've left, I don't think it's easy to go back. He told me, have you tried? I said, no, I'm not going. Let me just look for ways. I stayed in Sondu through a friend's house. And then when things were tough now, the mother was also bringing issues. You are sitting here and you're a student. No, you can't be here. You're going to give me issues. So I was left with nowhere to go. Remember, home, we can't go. We had signed. So there's a town also next to Sondu called Chabera. So I went to Chabera. Through the help of Brian, I don't know, he had people living there, so they knew these muddy houses. They were cheap. By then, rent was 300. So also during the time that I was with my stepmother in the salon, I learned how to plait. So I knew salon work. So when I went to Chabera, I was saying, during weekends, okay, when I went to Chabera, he got a house, told me, just come, here's the key. And then her sister also lived in Chabera before she moved. So I had some little things like utensils, beddings, kidogo. The sister helped us with. So I was in that house. So once in a while he could come, see me there, go back home. Because I was not working, but his mother was a business person. So sometimes he would come with some 200, chukwa. And I knew how to arrange myself. And you know, Chabera has food. So you buy kienyeji mingi with milk. You be eating this throughout the week. Yeah. During weekends, I pleat kids. I go to door to door.
But you continued with school?
Yes, I'm in school. So I'm trekking from Chabera to Agai through that Daraja Yasondu to Agai. But during weekends, I plate kids to get money to survive. To also get rent in case things do not go well over there. I wasn't too much depending on this guy. I didn't want to stress him up. So I tried all that. Then one day, I don't know, definitely you are a boy and a girl. Yeah. Definitely one time you're going to be intimacy. And so I didn't even know that I was pregnant.
Okay.
This was around June or July. So rumors had gone to school that I got lost from home. I disappeared. I'm not around. I'm being looked for. And then I went to school. A teacher called me and just started flogging me like, lala chini, unasumbua watu. I'm like, oh, I wish this teacher just sat me down to ask me something. Then I said, it's fine. I went to class. Then another time I'm called, no, you are getting suspended. My deputy principal had issues with me. I didn't understand to date. He had issues. So when he noticed, oh, it's Winnie again. Now I was on his cap. So he suspended me from school. He also suspended that innocent boy. We were both suspended. Then during this time, we are so stressed up. Auntie knows that I'm not at home. But then I said I'm not going to disappoint her in as much as it looks like I've already disappointed. I'll go to school. I have to finish. These uncles are around and they're very quiet. My other brothers, we are struggling. People are just quiet. So I went through school. One day we were revising. Remember we were in Form 4. So we were revising. Then I just heard boom at the door. Police officers. They just got in. Shika huyo, ndio huyo anaingia kwa curtain. That was me. Hold on of her. Bring outside. It was me, Brian, and another boy. We were doing revision in this house. So then when the police officers came, all of us were arrested. I'm still not aware that I'm pregnant. I don't know. Now when we go to the cell, I'm feeling so bad. The weather was not good. Yeah, it was this cold weather, this chilly one. We are taken. Then I'm asking Brian while on the way, kwani what has happened? Atiata misiju. Kumbe these teachers, I don't know who they collided with to take us to cell. So we were taken to police station in Sondu. We stayed there. Now, my cell was very cold. I was alone. And he was in the other cell, but there was a crack. You see, you can always talk through a crack. So namwambia, Brian, things are tough. Mi naona nikitoka hapa I'll just go home. He's telling me, stop joking. You are just beginning and you're almost ending. So don't give up so soon. We are just there. So there was a very good police officer, because I was not feeling like eating these things. You see that news there thing. So on Saturday we are pulled out to go and do those assignments. Then I hear the OCS, she was a lady saying, ona huu mjinga hata akona mimba. Wow. Then I'm like, so I was pregnant, I didn't know. Wow. So I tell Brian, did you hear what he said? That it's okay. He was very, he used to lainisha maneno like, it's okay. Well, then we are taken back to the cell. Then there was a very good police. I just told him, I don't feel like eating these things. I have a problem. You know, he could go to his house, bring properly cooked githeri, and gives me. When the heads have gone, because I was dying with hunger. You know, that type of food that you're given, it's not a pleasant one. Ni kabeji ingine mbaya sana na ugali, not a good one. So he used to steal food and gives me. I remember one day another police officer even poured water in my cell because he was telling me, nataka nikuweke pali ulale vizuri. I said no, I was meant to be here, I'll be here. I'm not going with you. So
how long did you stay in the cell?
I stayed in the cell for close to 3, 4 to 5 days. 3, 4 days, 5. Because I remember when I was now being released, it was on a Sunday that I had to call the other stepmother from home, the other one, to come and just sign. When there's another stepbrother in Sondu, he said he was not coming. If I'll be taken to court in Kericho, let me go there and rot in cell. He doesn't care. So mom came, signed me out. It was just signing me out, because I remember when the principal was leaving, plus the deputy, I remember them telling the police ati under moderate, like usiwatese sana. I had her tell the police. So we were not to be subjected under that cruelty. But I remember this police officer pouring water in my cell because I refused to follow him to another room, I don't know where.
So with all these things, you completed your 4th
I did. When we left this place, I went home. I told my other mom, now help me, what do I do? I'm pregnant, but then I have to do. Keep me here, at least I study with my other sis. I'll be reading their books. Yeah, I'll just, because there was one, we were in the same form. I can be reading her books as I settle. I need just peace of mind. I was already stressed up. She told me, no, you know how to pleat hair and you are going to destroy my daughters. You just go and look for a house in Ringa and settle. Pleat hairs. Leave my place. I left home. Alternatively, take this 100, go to Dugna. There's that. Dugna is a public dispensary in our area. Go and tell a doctor to remove that thing for you. I took that credit, called Brian. Brian, I'm at home, maybe seriously. Brian told me, don't try. If you do that, we are not going to meet in this Kenya. So I said, oh, so he knows this is his and he's not having a problem. But then what do I do? We already suspended from school, but we are allowed to go back and do exams. So we just came back to this house. We said, let them come and arrest me again. So the boy was in his place to me. His place here. I remember one day in Nikiwa cell, his dad calling police officer. That police was so close to me. He told me, now come. We unakufa na huyu kijana, just come and hear what his dad is saying. His dad is saying, ameweka loudspeaker. Sasa na huyu msichana tutafanya nini na yeye? Wachana na huyo. I'm sorry to use this word, but that's what he said. Huyo malaya anaharibu kijana yangu. I used to be so big, huge when I was I'm thin now. I was so huge. If you add that to pregnancy, you can imagine what I was like. I was weighing around 80 something. So when you looked at me, I looked like a very old mama. So I think he felt that I was destroying his young son. Well, I said, fine. Police akaniambia, did you hear what he said? He has already accused you and he's even calling you a name, but you still insist on this. I told Brian, did you hear what your dad said? He said, don't worry. So when we were released, I went back to my house. I hear his dad calling him again. We are with him. I'm giving you grace periods of only 2 days. If you don't leave that girl, you cease to be my son. Don't step a foot here. He told his dad, is that what you said? It's fine. 2 days elapsed. He called his dad. I don't think I can leave this lady here in this state. Please. His dad hung up. He called his mom, told his mom, you're really frustrating this girl. This girl is even pregnant for me. Who knows that one day you'll really need her? Who knows? Then the mother, definitely mothers we fail. So she called us, no, bring my daughter home. We are yet to do exams. No, just bring her home. She had built another rental rooms, so these rooms were there. So she said, give her this other room. Please, both of you stay in that house. So, we are staying there. We don't know if we are married or boyfriend. We are just given a house. So we said, okay, God, if this is what you decided that we are going to marry ourselves in this state, fine. What I want is peace, a place to put my head. So we are there during exams. But then the dad was not so sweet with me. He was that bitter. So I said, God, I'll keep quiet. I'm never going to argue. Even if someone tells me anything, I don't want my voice to be heard. Where I am is a very tough situation. When the exam time came, we went. Imagine she did shopping for us, shopping for this KCSE doers, what we need. She did all that. We went and did exam, coming back to his house. We go do exam, coming back to his house, to her house, the house she gave us in Kadinda. Kadinda is along, on your way to Katito. Yes. When we did exam and when the exam period was over, see now I'm waiting for result and I'm also waiting to deliver. I'm waiting for two things. But then I never sat down. I went to just talk to that dad. I got courage. I told him, I'm sorry. Whatever happened, forgive me. We found ourselves here. Just let me be free so that at least even as I interact with people around, I'll be knowing I'm getting blessings from you. I just faced him. Then he told me, it's okay. I had forgiven you. Now you just know how you're going to serve. And then I told him, I need one favor from you. Lend me 1,000 bob. I'll refund. Then he's like, 1,000 to do what? I said, I wanted to start some business. I can't sit like this. Then he gave me. I went to Sondu. I bought waru. That small 10 kg bucket was 270. I bought salad. By then the 5 liters was around 400 and something. And then I bought karai at 200 and kijiko. So I started cooking chips. Upper Kadinda as I wait for my result. My chips was giving me good profit. And then Brian was also helping his mom who used to sell molasses. So when he sells molasses with his mom, he gets that commission he is being paid. I also get some 400 out profit upper. We combined this for around 2 months and we got some amount like 3,000. We started a shop. This house that Mama built, it had also shops. So we took one and I'm the one who went to Katito to look for vitu za duka, Colgate, mafuta nini. We started our shop. So I'm doing chips, shop inaendelea, he's doing his mother's molasses and we are moving. Until we got money to buy a TV and a DVD. So hapo kijijini people go for football very far. So we decided, why don't you hii duka yenye dad opened for some small bar and then it's not functioning, imefungwa iko kwa barabara, you have steamer, fungua video hapa so that people come to watch football here. He did. So when he was going to arrange the aerial, the transformer is next to their house. So he was trying, setting the aerial to get the football. Then by bad luck, this aerial was all metal. It fell on the transformer. Now this boy was that type. He never gave up because you can see the journey he has been with me. So someone told him, no, hiyo kitu haija complete circuit, just pull. He went and touched that thing. Where? Nilienda kuleta maji from some seasonal river hapo karibu na wao. I had that. Unajua stima imelipuka kwa transformer. I fell down and rolled back to that water. Because I knew I left him near that thing. And that must have been him. Where? When I woke up running, now we are coming home. He had been electrocuted. Now his dad was also so confused. He was seeing like, hii stima inachoma mtoto. He took water, 20 liters jerrycan, poured on him. For him, he's cooling the heat. He didn't know that he's killing him more. Yeah? So me, when I was living, that home is just around it's along Kisumu, Kisii highway. So iko karibu na barabara. I was coming. I was not even minding that this is a highway. In fact, a very busy highway. Someone pulled me from back, threw me, because another vehicle was coming from Kisumu. Full. The chopper vehicles. I didn't see that. Me, I was going home. Where's that brand? What has happened? Why? When I woke up from where I was thrown, I saw a vehicle. And 1 minute, people were full. The home was full. The mother was crying. So I'm only here, Brian, Brian. I'm like, what? So when I turned and got him already seated in a vehicle, Good Samaritan, a vehicle that was passing by, saw this and was ready to take him back to Mission Hospital, Nyabondo. Nyabondo, where I was born. So when I went, I saw him on a vehicle and I'm like, I just called him twice. Like, Brian, Brian. And I saw like he was closing his eyes, but he was like, huh? Yani, he's trying to respond, but he's going. He's going. So I just saw him, I called him twice, he didn't hear. They went to hospital, but then unfortunately when he got there, I think he died on the way, even before they got to Nyabondo, because he was badly electrocuted. And then you add water. That one is normal. That one is normal.
I don't know what you can call this program, but I want to say that there are many things we take for granted. Winnie had just found some solace in life. And before she knew it, that guy who'd been so supportive all through her secondary school was snatched by death just so suddenly. And she found herself pregnant and widowed at the same time. We will have a second program next week, and I want to encourage you to be there, just to know, how did Winnie move on? Sometimes you struggle with very small things, but there are bigger things that people struggle with, but they come to terms by the grace of God. So join us in the next program next week, when you shall hear from Winnie how she picked up her broken pieces. And until then, God bless you.